Hi guys, how's it going? My name is Ryan Delgado and thank you so much for joining me today. I have a little bit of a different topic that I want to discuss. It's not necessarily art related per se, just because this can apply to anyone, no matter what your passion or your profession. This can apply to anyone, and that is the idea of setting goals and creating some kind of a plan to accomplish those goals. And I like to do this on a yearly basis. And the reason I like to do this on a yearly basis as opposed to, creating 5 or 10-year goals, those long-term goals, is just because it's the way I function. It's better suited for me personally. Because if I create a 5-year goal, to me, that means I have 5 years to procrastinate on it. And what creating a yearly goal does for me is that it narrows that time frame for me to accomplish a goal. And so that gives me a little bit more of a sense of urgency. It challenges me a little bit more to accomplish that goal within a year. So I don't have time to procrastinate on it. So that's kind of what I'm going for when I create my yearly goals. And so the way I do this is at the end of the year or at the beginning of a new year, what I like to do is kind of a self-evaluation of the things that I've accomplished and the things that I haven't accomplished in the past year. And I break this down into 4 different categories, 4 different sort of criteria that I like to look at. Number 1 are actual goals that I set out to accomplish that I actually did accomplish. Number 2 are actual goals that I set out to accomplish that I did not accomplish. Number 3 are unexpected accomplishments and achievements from the past year that just came as a total surprise. And number 4 are the unexpected setbacks. These are the moments that are sort of beyond your control, that just kind of get in the way. Those moments, the life happens moments. And so I take those 4 things into consideration, and I take them into account and determine new goals for the coming year based on those 4 things. And I think this helps me in a way, in theory. It helps me as somebody, if you're somebody like me who struggles with motivation sometimes, and struggles with the idea of just kind of pushing yourself forward to getting out beyond your comfort zone, and taking different steps that are outside of your routine, steps that are necessary for success, and doing things that maybe you don't realize you're capable of doing. So let's take a look at my 2017, and let's go over the 4 different areas of my 2017. So actual goals that I set out to accomplish that I actually did. Probably the biggest one last year was getting into a national show. That was the big one, I think, for me, was getting into a national show, getting beyond Kansas City and getting into another market somewhere, getting into another gallery somewhere that is outside of the Kansas City area. That is one that I actually managed to accomplish last year. A goal that I did not accomplish last year kind of goes along with that, and that is selling more than I had in previous years. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. I did not sell last year as much as I hoped to. Unexpected achievements from last year, the unexpected things that happened last year. I did get into a second national show, which I was hoping for, but I was not expecting. And that was the Parkville Small Works show, which was great because it was a national show, but it was also local. And that was a great advantage for me. Another accomplishment from last year that I was totally not expecting was another show that I did. It was another local show It was called the State of the Arts Exhibition, and it was out in Prairie Village, Kansas. And this was a show I'd never heard of. I'd never done it before, and I just kind of tried it out to see what it was like. It was a juried show that I got accepted into. I didn't know any of the other artists. I didn't know the judge for the show. I didn't know anyone. But I managed to have a pretty good success at it. I won one of the major awards there. It was a merit award, which was just one step below the best of show. So that was a huge success for a show I'd never done before. And it was a boost that I really needed at that time. It came at just the right moment for me. So unexpected setbacks. Probably the only one that I can think of last year was my gallbladder surgery. And that one set me back about a month, just a month of recovering from it. But not only that, because I mean, I wasn't doing anything in the studio. I wasn't working on anything or going to any shows or anything like that. Not only that, but with medical situations comes medical bills. So so that was another huge setback, were the financial setbacks from that. So taking those four things into account, now, what are my new goals for 2018? Well, I had to look at, and I really had to take into account the main failure from last year, and that was that I did not sell as much as I really hoped to. So I'm taking that and I'm making that a component, an underlying component of all my new goals for 2018. It's the underlying foundation of the things that I want to accomplish this year. And I realized that the reason I didn't sell much last year, the reason I didn't sell as much as I wanted to, had to do with my visibility, the visibility of my work, both online and in galleries. As far as online goes, I've been doing social media. I've been doing Facebook and Instagram and all that. But one thing I know that I have not been clear about, that I'm trying to improve, is the idea that I'm not just, with every new painting that I post on Facebook or Instagram, I'm not just trying to show this off. I am actually presenting it as a painting that I have available for anyone who is interested in purchasing it. And that's something I've not been clear about. To be clear, that this is a painting that is available, that I have available for sale. And that can make a huge difference. To be clear with your audience, with your online audience, that this is work that is available, that it's not just work I'm doing to show off at galleries or at shows or anything like that. I'm not doing these just to win awards or anything. Ultimately, these are paintings that I want to sell. And along with that is just the idea of online selling in general, and exploring those avenues of websites that are designed for selling, which is something I haven't explored very much either. I mean, I've done a little bit with eBay, but that's about it. So so I decided I was going to set up an Etsy account, and I did that recently. And I currently have 24 pieces listed on Etsy right now that I have for sale. If you are interested in checking those out, by the way, the link to that is in the description below. But this is just another avenue, another opportunity to hopefully generate some more sales. And it's still new, it's still very fresh, it hasn't gained a whole lot of momentum, but I'm hoping to see where this will go. And so that brings me to gallery visibility. Currently, I am only represented by one gallery here in the Kansas City area, and I know full well that that is not enough. And so I'm hoping to look into other galleries here in the KC area and hopefully get accepted into one of them. I have already applied to one. I'm hoping that I will hear back from them very soon. As far as other goals, I had success with national shows last year, so I am carrying that over into 2018 as well, and hoping to get into at least one national show this year. We'll see how that goes. I've already applied to and been rejected for one this year. And so it's not going to be as easy as it may seem. As much of a disappointment, as much as it stung to get rejected from this show that I applied for, it's just a matter of setting that aside, putting it away, and focusing in on the next opportunity. You just kind of have to move on. So that's what I'm doing right now, is looking at the next opportunity, which is the Best of America show through the National Oil and Acrylic Painters Society. Creatively speaking, I've decided to make 2018 the year of the small work for me. And this is something I started thinking about back in November when I was at the Small Work Show in Parkville. And I got to thinking, I started to realize that more and more galleries are starting to do small work shows. It's starting to become a trend for galleries to do small work shows, especially during the holiday season. And the reason for this is to generate more sales, to attract more buyers to these shows, because what you have is an entire show of small pieces, of small paintings that are probably not going to be as expensive as, say, a larger painting would be. And so the idea of the small work show is to attract people that maybe aren't necessarily consistent buyers of art, regular collectors, but maybe just more of an average person that doesn't have thousands of dollars to spend on a large painting, but maybe just wants to purchase something that is less than $1,000. And so that's why a lot of galleries are starting to get in on this small works show idea. And that's kind of one of the things I was thinking about, is it really does make sense, especially when it comes to improving efficiency. If it's my goal to sell more work, then it just makes sense to do small works, to do small paintings, because it improves efficiency, or at least it does in theory. Because the idea here is to create more paintings in a shorter amount of time. Because obviously creating a small painting is going to take less time than creating a larger one. For me, a large painting is maybe a month to a couple of months, whereas a smaller painting is maybe going to be a week or so. And so creating more paintings in a shorter amount of time, and then marketing that painting at a lower price, and then hopefully, God willing, selling more of them. Because one of the things I've realized is that as much as I love to do large paintings, as much as I love to do the larger works, they're difficult to sell. They are very difficult to sell, and my hope is that doing smaller works, I can create more of them and price them lower, and hopefully that will attract more buyers, even those folks that don't necessarily buy artwork all the time. It will hopefully attract those folks as well. So anyway, those are my goals for 2018. I hope that this was somehow insightful for you guys, and that this was an interesting topic for you guys to think about, because It's just something that's been on my mind. I realize that we're already in April, but it's something that I've wanted to discuss, and probably something I haven't really discussed in detail before. So yeah, I just wanted to get you guys to start thinking about this idea of setting goals and coming up with a plan to accomplish them, and just to evaluate yourself. I think that's important. That's an important part of this as well, is to evaluate those things that that you did accomplish and that you did not accomplish, your successes and your failures, because both of those things can be beneficial into as far as creating your new goals for a new year. So again, I hope this was beneficial. I hope this was helpful for some of you out there, and that you got something out of it. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be back soon with something new for you guys, and until then, God bless you all and have a great day.